So after that, more options, and the short story is that we've been to the altar many times, but we haven't gotten married because Richard and I have not been willing to give up as much as any big studio.
Because you're the author of the story and you can do no other to be true.
And we are exhausted.
Until we're about 65, 68, at which point we're just going to sell it to whoever wants to do it and go the hell to Tahiti.
There you are. The latest news is that we are once more in negotiations with a big studio. We have an A-list director who's interested. The time has never been better for ElfQuest to be realized on film because the CGI has solved every special effects problem we could ever have, and the elves will look gorgeous in 3D. Richard and I are sitting back and letting our agents handle it, and we will just, it could take months, and when we have some news, you'll be among the first to know. If there's news, nothing could happen. That's
do it now.
Yeah.
The people who made Babe, George Miller and that crowd, they had that idea for years, and they also knew that the technology was like 10 years away that will allow them to do it and it won't look stupid. And of course, he was in a position to sell the thing and make money off it at any time, but they actually waited for the technology to catch up so that when people watched Babe and Go Talking Pig movie, they saw the little perfect gem of a film that it is. And so waiting for the technology is, in a case like ElfQuest, I think, really good. I thought about that recently. I've been thinking they could do ElfQuest now. They could make it and it wouldn't be animated and they wouldn't have to use puppets or children. And because like Lord of the Rings, that's another example. Oh, and then of course the guy. I don't know if you know this. The man who plays Gollum is the man who played King Kong. And the King Kong performance was another step forward because he could see himself in real time on a monitor while he was playing it. And so now, I was sitting with some people who were not in show business the other day, and I said, the guy who plays King Kong should have been nominated for an Oscar. And they all laughed. And I said, no, you don't understand. He's the guy who played Gollum. And they're like, what do you mean? And I explained how they do it, and they were like, so very impressed. They didn't understand this. And that's why Kong can, he can make you weep. Because it's a real live performance, and now an actor can look like anything, and it can be any actor who can do the physical stuff.
No, we don't have to put pointed ears on Leonardo DiCaprio.
It doesn't have to be short people. You don't have to do pointed ears on people, and you don't even necessarily have to be doing age appropriate or gender. A woman can play a male character because you're controlling a work of art.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
And it's a really exciting future in terms of performance for actors. Most actors are very, very afraid of it because it's like, oh, it's going to replace us. It's like, no, that's a new way. It's like operating a giant living puppet with your very physical instrument. And it's an opportunity to play, all kinds of different people. And even non-people. And even animals and elves and creatures who don't exist, and you can play different genders, different races, different ages.
So they could give us the ending that we really want, then, couldn't they?
It is within the realm of possibility, although this freaks me out to think about it, that Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton and all the actors that were in Beauty and the Beast could be recreated digitally as they were in 1988, and at some future date, an entirely different ending could be filmed with little pixels of light.
Same actors controlling those pixels, so we wouldn't have to be replaced because of the fact that you're 50 years old now. And although I am not yet 50. No, this is my new phrase. This person who's not yet 50. But seriously, the idea that you could play a character that you played 20, 30, 40 years ago and still play it because they could make it up digitally is very, very exciting. And you know, I just love the idea of, I'd love to have played King Kong. I mean, that guy to me, I don't know his name and I feel ashamed. What's his name?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. And he's just like the best thing I've seen ever, because Gollum was fantastic. I mean, King Kong, Gollum was a brilliant performance, one of my favorite characters in all of literature, and the kind of thing that you see, always see. That's why they can never make that movie, and that's why, you know, there was that silly cartoon that you guys had the integrity not to leave, because remember, Lord of the Rings was a cartoon series that Rankin Bass, and you said no to Rankin Bass. Well, you know, so had the estate of Tolkien should have said no to Rankin Bass too, because that was not worthy of animation. Certainly can be. It's not because it was animated, but what they did with that was not worthy of the amazing, amazing material. And really, until they made that movie, it was impossible to make the movie. And now it's not impossible anymore to do virtually anything. And it's very exciting to me. It's very exciting that someday I may live to, you know, play a 90-year-old Asian woman. It could happen. It's CGI. We'll fix it in post.